Hi there, I'm Jill Chivers from 16 Style Types, and on this chat we have Imogen Lamport, my co-creator of our new online style program called Your Type of Style, Unlocking Your Style DNA. And we also have the wonderful INTP Susanne, who's going to be sharing with us her experiences of participating in this program, in our pilot program, and what she gained from it and what other women might gain from it, and especially other women who prefer INTP. So welcome, Susanne.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I was glad to be able to beta test and to help out with the interviews.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we might just start with a broad question. What were some of your takeaways from the program?
Right. Takeaways from the program. I would say primary big takeaways were number one, gaining another set of first principles. I do think it's kind of funny that I'm a scientist by trade and an INTP, but so for me, I'm accustomed professionally to dealing with learning first principles, applying them to new problems. And so for me, having another set of first principles about a new topic is always fun. It was also good to be able to get some, to be walked through these questions that are designed to get self-knowledge out of your head, well thought out, expressed in a nice linear manner, rather than just being an abstract idea in my head. And the third thing is that I made much more progress on the personality aspect of style while beta testing than I did when doing 7 steps for style. It's much more comprehensive, and some of the material that overlaps, the small part of it that does overlap, is presented differently. And so I made a whole lot more progress on understanding personality and how that impacts my style. And so all three of those things were major takeaways for me.
Yeah, fantastic.
So tell us, was there any particular aha moment you had during doing the program?
In general, finding out, getting style messages sorted out. I think that's a good way to say it. You know, what do I like versus what have other people told me that wanted me to like, tried to get me to like. Getting all that sorted out. You know, it might have been a little painful and dragged up some bad memories, but that is a very general. But one specific example of that would be, why do I hate tan pants?
Yeah.
And yet persist in buying them and wearing them.
Right. Yeah.
So why? Well, certain people in my life thought that, you know, the right kind of people wear tan pants. Tan pants is what you're supposed to wear. Why do I hate them? Because there's nothing creative or dramatic about them. 100% safe.
Yeah.
So that's an example of that. But yeah, this is not okay. Yeah. So getting those style messages sorted out, that was really important. It was much more important than I would have thought if you had just told me about it at first.
Yeah. Well, that leads us to another question about, were there any other surprises? Was there anything you weren't expecting, either in the program or a part of your experience of participating?
That's a good question. Any other? Well, let's see. Oh, okay, yes. I realized and recognized that I was being influenced by people I didn't need to be influenced by anymore, much more than I thought I was.
Yeah.
And yeah, people it's reasonable to be influenced by certain people at certain times in your life, but not now.
Yeah.
And especially not when there's such a huge difference in personality between me and some of these other people. So that was really surprising. You know, you realize, oh, I haven't gotten that out of my head yet. I'm still doing that. So that was good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So that sounds like a moving away from listening to other people that you hadn't particularly tuned into, and now listening more to yourself.
Yes, yeah, that's really important. So how are you going to know that you are being that you're still letting other people tell you what to wear?
Yeah.
Okay, now there is a time and a place where it is appropriate to consider other people's feelings, other people's expectations, etiquette, what is society. There's time and a place for that. But There's also I was wearing what other people thought that I should wear.
Yeah.
And that was, and of course then also with INTP, a typical thing that we do is to just completely ignore style as totally irrelevant. I mean, what? Only
Yeah.
clothing?
That's
Only
right.
clothing. I'm not
That's
naked, and I
That's
don't look like I'm out for a good time.
Right. Yeah. Or a street
Minimum
person.
expectation met. But so there was a lot of that too. I like to joke. I started out as a joke, but now I don't think it's quite so jokey now that I think about it.
Yeah. Right.
I've been saying recently that taking the time to look nice is an act of charity because other people have no choice but to look at you, right?
Right. No, I like that.
But anyway, so yeah, I guess I sort of got slightly off topic, but there, that's
No, you're on topic. I suspect other INTPs will like that thing about the act of charity. I suspect there are many that will find that amusing as well. I think it's funny as well.
I do.
So would you say now that your style is much more congruent with your personality?
Oh yes, yeah, I think so. I do feel like it. Yeah. And again, the style messages and sorting out what that was a really big part of it, was trying to this whole thing, sort of big picture talking now, but figuring out what do I genuinely like versus what was I raised to like.
Right.
What did like society, the messages you get just by being alive and seeing things, or school, parents, friends, anything at all, the fashion industry, goodness sakes, all of those influences, they tell you what you should like as well. So what do I genuinely like? And if I'm going to wear something that's really truly me, or versus, you can also go the other way, and it would be fairly easy, I think, to say to yourself, well, mommy and daddy wanted me to wear this, therefore I'm going to wear this other thing. You could totally react the other way as well, which is just as inauthentic.
Exactly.
So finding out that was the real golden thing for me about this whole program, was figuring out what's me and what's not me, and of the things that are not me, where are they coming from?
Yeah. Can I ask you, with regards to that, so especially as an INTP who it's very easy to just go clothes, schmoes, who cares?
Yeah.
Now that you've kind of got, the what is me and what do I love to wear, how has that changed how you feel about your image and what you're actually putting on?
Well, this whole thing started, actually, the thing that led me to your website in general was this frustration with, why do I feel like I keep needing to buy stuff when I've got all these clothes? And it's not like they're bad clothes. They're nice. They make nice outfits. I'm good at color matching. I can color match in the absence of the thing I'm matching. I'm good at putting colors together but not knowing what my colors are, right? So I was just flying in totally intuitively against, but so the initial frustration was what I thought was I needed more self-control. That led me, through reading about small wardrobes, and led me to one thing to another, and eventually led me to your blog, where I learned first principles about style and color and decided to make a study of it, and that's my little hobby. So, and as you see that, when I wear clothing that looks good on me, I feel better. And I knew that. I knew from a long time ago that if I go into work wearing a business suit, I feel much more competent. I get much more done. I know that's a total psychological trick. Jeans and a t-shirt, I can do that. I'm a college professor. I can wear jeans and a t-shirt. That's okay. I'm a geologist. We can do that. But if I dress nicely, I know that I work better. I feel better. And so this was taking it up a notch or two. Plus, it was also allowed to work with my religion and my values. Materialism, consumerism, buying things for the sake of buying things, that means, sorry, Catholics don't do that. We're not supposed to do that. So it's actually worked with my life in multiple different areas of my life. So, and as far as, I'm okay to continue making a little bit of an effort, because I think for both my summer wardrobe and my winter wardrobe, I've gotten to where I've got it pretty well curated, at least for the time being. And I know I can't just totally ignore it for all time, but I've got a small wardrobe of things that I really like, and most of them go together. The few things that don't, like the yellow like the yellow culottes. Okay, that's a special case. But most of the things I wear can all be or mostly interchanged, and I like them all. I really, really like them all. I feel comfortable in them all. And plus, I started taking outfit photos, and so I can just lie in bed and scroll, which one do I want to wear today? That one.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of work over the course of like a year and a half, and I think I've gotten it to where I understand these principles well enough, both on 7 style types and on this new program, and I've done enough work that I feel like I understand it all well enough to apply it, apply it without necessarily other, I feel like I understand it well enough to apply it on my own to new situations. So
And sorry, yeah. You've mentioned the word principles a few times, which is a key INTP word. And one of the names for INTPs is the style theorist. And so one of the things that can be helpful for INTPs and other N types is moving from that conceptual through to the practical, the pragmatic. So what sort of changes have you noticed on a practical level in terms of shopping and wardrobing, and how you mentioned curating your wardrobe and managing all of those practical things?
Yeah. So, well, one of the things that I've that you do at various points during this program is you're either directed to, or you end up sort of spontaneously editing your wardrobe. Okay, now this I understand. These are tan pants. Not only am I going to give them all away, I am going to buy them again. And so as I learned things about myself, I got to where I was able to say, okay, I understand this now, which is going to drive what I keep in my wardrobe. It's going to drive what I buy. And so now I'm able to say, I know what I like, I know what I don't like, and let's see, and why is important. I also find that I have a smaller wardrobe, and I'm more satisfied with everything. And a lot of things mix and match. And, and if I'm not satisfied, if I'm feeling dissatisfied in general, or with a particular garment or something like that, I can usually reason out what is it that is bothering me. Like, the yellow culottes I mentioned, all they look like so much fun. Now, I do have ADHD, total ADHD impulse purchase. But I can't, I was so frustrated. I'm just going to dye them gray, because I know I'll wear them. But no, I had to reason my way through it. If I had a top that meets this, that, and the other thing, then, I found one and it looks great. So I had to buy something new, but I was able to solve that problem.
Right.
So I'm using reasoning as was recommended for INTPs to make all of these style, to make shopping decisions, wardrobing decisions. I can just totally ignore the vast majority of what I see. If I go shopping now, it's because I have a hole in my wardrobe. Or else I hit up my favorite designer consignment. You got to find where the rich people give away their clothing.
Yes.
I do stop in monthly, but if I'm going shopping for a purpose, I have something really particular in mind because I've thought it out. And the end result is a smaller wardrobe that I love. I wear more of it all. I know it all looks good. So it's made a huge impact, and I've been able to meet the goal that initially drove me toward trying to learn more about style a year and a half ago in the first place.
Yeah. So what would you say other INTP women would get out of this program?
Okay. The big thing that I thought was learning these first principles and knowledge. Okay, that's a big thing. With this program, there's a lot of personality. So you learn a pretty decent level of detail about how the Myers-Briggs system works, and what does it mean to have a J or a P, what the introverted versus extroverted. How is that, how is that different from the way we socially use the term, right? So and that whole different, it's psychology, but it also pertains to style. So that new information. New information is always good. And also, there's no such thing. Well, usually within normal parameters, I don't think there's too much knowledge. So that in and of itself was a lot of fun. It was very interesting, and I learned more about myself. And in a way, in particular, as pertains to style, so that I was able to make better decisions and to know, what the to have a better idea of what the parameters are, when to push, so I can make better decisions about what to wear, what not to wear, when to push boundaries, when not to push boundaries, when to totally ignore other people, and when it is reasonable to go ahead and say, okay, fine, I'll listen to you at this point.
Yeah.
So I summarize self-knowledge and more information.
Yeah, that's a good summary of things other INTPs are likely to find appealing. So is there anything else that you haven't shared with us that is important that you'd like others to know about this program and participating in it?
Else? Well, that's a good question. Any like in general, yeah, I do know that some people will bring up criticisms of the entire Myers-Briggs system, and that's based on academic stuff, which I think probably the least thing that we want to go into right now. But in terms of experience, understanding yourself, and increasing self-efficacy, both in in any way, I thought this was. We can take the academic arguments and put them aside because they're academic psychologists. They're looking for particular things. It also seems to depend on whether you like Jung or not. But I find them to be, the INTP description, no matter who writes it, whatever website it's on, it's all very consistent with my internal perception of myself. And what you three have done with style was to take it and apply it to a totally different area, which has indeed. I mean, I feel like I made so much more progress in the personality aspect of style than I did by reading everything on Imogen Blog and doing the 7 Steps for Style program. And that's made it the biggest difference, actually, was the personality aspect.
Yeah, and look, just on that, I think there are people who want to query the whole basis of psychological type, and there's certainly a lot of information about the reliability and validity of it. One of the things I'll just mention here, since we're gathering more information, is the Journal of Personality Assessment. They did a wonderful review of it, which was peer-reviewed, an article by Penny Moyle and John Haxton. So for those who are interested in that, I would refer them to that resource if they want to learn a little bit more. That can be useful for people.
Well, thanks so much, Susanne. That's been really useful. And of course, the reason why you got so much more about personality from this is because the whole program is about personality.
Yeah.
And how your personality influences your style, versus in 7 Steps is just one of the steps, and it's much briefer. And it's a good introduction to thinking about how your personality influences your style. Because now you've got the deep dive. You've been right through the whole your type of style program, which is all so much about just that element of personality influencing everything you ever choose. Really.
That's right.
And like, the part about 7 Steps that is personality oriented is a very small part of what's covered in this new program. And even there, where there is a direct one-to-one overlap, a small little bit of information that's the same, the images are all different. And actually, I found the different images to be very revealing. On 7 Steps, I said I'm very strongly relaxed, but then the images that you used for this new program, like, okay, now no, I do not want to look like that. That particular image, I feel sloppy and gross. So no, and so even something as simple as the different images and slightly different wording actually was helped me to realize, I'm primarily creative and dramatic with, yes, relaxed, but that's a tactile thing. So it was, so there's so much more involved than just that. And
Well, that's been really fantastic. Our view is that one of the reasons that you got so much value out of your type of style, our new program, is because you put so much into it in your unique way, unique for you, but also, INTP and a lot of characteristics there. So It was wonderful to have you be part of the pilot program, and thank you today for sharing your thoughts, which I'm sure other women who prefer INTP will gain a lot from, and just other women of style types will gain a lot from hearing how you experienced it and what you gained from it. So thank you so much, Susanne.
Well, yes, well, thank you for having me, and I was glad to be able to help.
Thanks so much.